I have a bit of a complaint, and this is going to come off as incredibly nerdy, so I figured I'd warn everybody in advance. I'm a comic book person. I've been reading them my entire life. I started reading comics, I believe, when I was around 4 or 5. I'd have to check with my mom to make sure, but I have comics going back to before elementary school, so pretty sure that's about as accurate as I can possibly be. They have trade paperbacks now available in comic book stores as well, but they also have them in major retailers for books like Barnes & Noble, Borders, which I believe is gone now, and other companies like that. Walden Books, which I don't think is around anymore either. But basically, Barnes & Noble. Let's just go with Barnes & Noble. When I was in high school in the early to mid-90s, if you wanted to get a comic book from comic book in graphic novel form, which is the one that's about that thick and it's pretty big. So, example. Like, first this one. I got this one from my uncle in like 1987 or so. This one. It's the Wolverine comic book. A trade paperback is typically a collection of mini-series of some sort. Or a 6-issue run of a comic book, which is normally a storyline. And if you wanted to get a hold of one of those and you had to go to a bookstore, you go to a bookstore and you say, okay, this entire thing is full of books. Where are your graphic novels? And they go, oh, it's over here. They'll have 2 bookshelves devoted entirely to the kind of nasty Fabio painting covered trashy love story shit that like Desperate Housewives used to read. And I don't mean Desperate Housewives in the MILF variety that was popularized on television. No, I mean the actual ones with back acne and cellulite. The ones that always looked at the Culligan Waterman with that lurid gaze. That kind of shit. That shit had 2 shelves. Now, if you went to one of those same bookstores and say, where are your graphic novels? And they go, okay, it's over here. You have a bookshelf, just one, comes up about chest high for me, about 5 feet tall. The top shelf is graphic novels, and it's about 3.5, 4 feet wide, and that's it. And then that's out of the 3 shelves. The middle shelf is role-playing game guides. I'm thinking back of the time of when I was getting this, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, Vampire the Masquerade, Shadowrun, Warhammer 40K, stuff like that. And the bottom shelf was compendium and companion guides for all those sort of games as like source material. In the last 5 years or so, if you go to a Barnes & Noble and you want to get a comic book, they have all, out of this 3-shelf row, they have 2 that are crammed with graphic novels and basically trade paperbacks, not so much graphic novels. I'll tell you more about the difference later. But with the trade paperbacks, with these collections of series for comic books, they're crammed in there to the point where it's like trying to shove a cat into a condom. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's like, wait, they need to have another shelf there. And the 3rd shelf is full of autobiographies of people that no one gives a shit about, and those books never sell. Now, on the other side, if you turn around and you're looking behind you, there's 3 whole bookshelves of manga books. I'm part of the first American generation that enjoyed Japanese anime. We actually had to go out of our way to get stuff and had to learn some Japanese to even understand the shit we were watching. I have nothing against anime. Manga is picture books. They're not comic books. They're not graphic novels. They don't take any time to read. You could probably read one 300-page book in 15 minutes. Is that reading to you? No, not to me either. So the easiest way to solve that problem would just be make those get knocked down to 2, put the comic books to 3, because there's much more material to sell and you'd sell a lot more. And that's all I have to say for this rant, complaint, whatever. Bye.